When she put it in the plate, it looked like blood.
Okay.
It looked like a plate full of blood. I've never had that before in my life, ever. It's like something I had before. Cooked this Russian soup. When she put it in the plate, it looked like blood.
Okay.
It looked like a plate full of blood. I've never had that before in my life, ever. It's like something I had before.
Okay.
So
it was completely new.
it was completely new, and it was Russian. She said it was a Russian soup, so I didn't ask more than that. I didn't want to be rude. I just said it. This is the picture. That's what it looked like.
It looks like a tomato soup.
It wasn't, trust me, it wasn't. It was something else. It is some kind of red like that.
Okay.
Like purple.
Purple red. Okay.
So we started eating, and I'm talking to this woman, and I'm talking to her, and I'm talking to her, and I'm talking to her, and she looked like she was listening. But I don't think she was listening. And then she was answering. And she knew what she was answering, and she knew what I was talking about, but she just didn't look like she was listening to me.
Like she was connected.
Yeah, she didn't look like she was connected. And, you know, at one point while we were at the table and we were eating, I asked her, is it okay for me to stay here tonight because I can see you're not in the best mood? And she was like, yeah, it's fine, it's just that I won't talk too much. And I said, well, if you're sure it's fine, then I can talk for you, I don't mind. So I started talking, and then at one point her boyfriend came downstairs, and
Just a second, the coffee.
okay.
You wanna come with me?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, her boyfriend came downstairs, and then because she was so angry, whatever happened between them, she said it's some financial problems or something. She was like, oh well, and then all of a sudden she took the spoon in her hand, and she had the whole soup in less than 10 seconds. And he was standing by the table looking at us. No, she had her soup. So when she saw him coming downstairs, he came, and she was like, well, we started eating without you because you weren't here. And then she grabbed the spoon, and she started eating the soup. Like in 10 seconds, the soup was gone. And I was completely calm. Like, I had no reaction whatsoever. I was so calm. I just kept on eating, and she gave me some alcoholic drink that I never had before. And the guys sat at the table, and we started talking, and they started asking me what I do, what I do in this country, what I've done before. And I started telling them, and I was telling them, and both of them were like statues. So, hi. So they were basically not talking. They were not talking. They didn't even look like they were looking good. They were listening to me. And can I have a lighter?
Yes, in my bottle. You can grab your tea or your coffee.
Thank you. And I was telling them about me, and I was telling them that I like, because they were asking me what I like to write, and I said that I write about all kinds of things, but I write in a more philosophical way, and sometimes it gets very mixed up, and I don't like it, and people don't really like it, and whatever. I was telling them about this, and then the guy.
The same way you are talking now, because it makes no sense everything you're saying. I don't even understand what you want to write.
Well, no, I'm just telling you what. And at one point, I was just shocked because she kept on giving me these things about her, and it was like I was looking at myself at that age. It's like she was me. It's like she was reading every single fucking thing in my head, everything.
Okay.
And we changed the subject because she saw I was panicking a bit, and then she started telling me about the fact that she talks to dead people.
Okay.
And
That's something interesting.
yeah, and she said she talks to her aunt. To be honest, I don't know if it's the same thing, but I'll tell you something I do. I've never in my life talked to dead people, but there's something that makes me feel very good. And I like to sometimes imagine, I speak to them, or they're next to me, or, I see myself with them. She was like, oh, that's very nice. So what do you talk to them? And then I just started thinking, and I thought, well, when I'm alone, I don't really talk to them. It's like they're somewhere in a corner, and if I go to them to start talking to them, And then I stopped, and she said, if you go to them, they stop talking, and they look at you. And I was like, yeah, that's what happens. And I told her that, and she asked me, so who are these people? And I said, oh, I can't tell you. You're going to start laughing, blah, blah. She's like, come on, tell me. I said, well, it's James Dean, Mary Morrell, Elvis Presley, and Amy Winehouse. And I was like, you can laugh as much as you want.
From that Whitney Houston. You saw her.
Yeah, I saw her, but I thought she's not in that group. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Keep going.
And yeah, after that, she told me, you know, this is your imagination. This is a world you create. So maybe you should start talking. You should do something. And she's like, which one of them do you like the most? And I said James Dean. And even when I had to watch his film, I couldn't watch it all at once. I had to stop it every time because I was getting so excited about it, and it's such an influence for me, you know. And the fact that he died when he was so young, when he was 25, and then she stopped me at this point, and she was like, "You told me something earlier." I told her the fact that I'm always telling you. If I don't become famous until I'm 25, I want to die. And she told me, well, you told me this earlier. You said you want to die before you're 25. Have you ever thought, why this age? Why do you want to die at 25? And I said, well, how do you see yourself after 25? It's like, no, I don't see myself anyhow. I just don't see myself. And she's like, yeah, maybe because you once died when you're 25 and you can't get over that age. And you can't see over that age. And I was like, yeah. You're implying what? I met James Dean in my life? Or she's like, no, I think you are James Dean. I think your character brings a lot, you know, a lot of images of him. And she was like, I can see a lot of James Dean in you. It's like, well, okay, but it's, you know, just the fact that he died when he was 25, yeah, and the fact that you can't talk to him in your imagination, and the fact that your heart is always racing when you're watching things with him, the fact that you have images that you've lived in California, the fact that you hate this part of Europe and you can't stand here, the fact that you left home and he left home, the fact that he didn't want small parts in film and you didn't want to work for him.
Relationship with your dad.
The relation, yeah, but I didn't tell her that. But anyway, she connected.
No, but I was making these connections as well. So.
Yeah, there you go. And she was just connecting all of these things. And I was like, well, you can't simply assume that if you have similarities with a certain person, you are actually that person. And then she was like, well, how did he die? No, she asked me because she said she usually connects with these people through her fears, because the people in her lives, because she knows if she's scared of something in this life, it means that probably something happened in her previous life that made her be afraid. And she asked me, well, how did James Dean die? And I was like, in a car accident. And she was like, okay, do you drive? And I said, no. Why not? I don't have a driving license. Why not? Because I never got the chance to do it. Okay. Do you have a bike? No. Why not? Because I don't really like bikes. Why? And then I told her, well, I'm a bit scared of traffic, because even when I'm on the bike, and I told her about last year when I got lost. And I told her that at one point last year I had to go all the way to the other side of the street before crossing because I was scared of the cars passing by. And she was like, okay, why do you think you have this fear of traffic? Has anything ever happened in your life? And nothing ever happened in my life to actually be afraid of traffic.
It's just
and
one
I
of
said,
your fears.
yeah, I said, no, it's just one of my fears. And then she was like, I am going to stop now. If you ever want to talk about it again, we'll talk about it again. But this is what I think. And this is where the conversation stopped.
Okay. You know, I want to know, I want this analysis.